In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can increase your Etsy sales today. Now, not only being a top seller on Etsy, I also manufacture for top sellers. So I have a quite big range on seeing different Etsy shops at work and see which ones succeed and which ones have a difficult time growing their sales. Not only that, but also consult sellers on Etsy that have made over 200,000 sales on Etsy. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, because some of the things I talk about here is just not YouTube friendly, means you're not gonna find it if you don't know what to look for. So make sure to hit the bell notification so that you're notified. And the last 2 is probably the most important ones you can do today. Okay, now we know that click-through rate is the most important metric that you need to focus on. If you've watched my other videos, you know it's all about the click-through rate. If you can feed the algorithm with more click-through rate data about your listings, you're just gonna do so much better. So the first one means improving your click-through rate. And the ways you do that obviously is photos and descriptions. And sometimes I find that people put the first variation as the cheapest variation, such as small, but then medium, large, and extra large are significantly more expensive. Now that sounds a little scummy, and it sounds like, you know, I'm the only one not doing and everybody else is doing it. Now, the reason why I think that's something you might think about, by the way, this is a side note, is because if you were to ask a customer, hey, but if the price is not an issue, do you like the product? Usually people care about how something looks and how something feels. And if you take the price out of the picture, then they get to make that decision before they think about price. So the reason why people do the first initial price to be cheaper is because they want to have the customer think about price as the second step. First step, they want to see whether they like the product. And then they go on your listing, then they discover what the price of that product is. Now, again, the primary focus should be your click-through rate. If you can improve your thumbnail, make sure that it correlates to the keywords that you are trying to rank on, to make sure that your titles are very attractive and they're answering the exact question that the customer might have wanted. For example, if they're looking for a gift for a new mom or whatever helps the customer make that decision sooner. So focusing on your click-through rate is going to make a significant change in the next week or so of your Etsy listings. The second one is probably obvious, but you don't know how obvious it is. People that advertise more sell more and they make more in profit. I've seen it both with my shop and dozens of other Etsy shops. Those that advertise more make more. Now, it's really important that your listing is ready to be advertised. If you have, very crappy listings, then they're not ready for advertising. If you're not solving any specific problem, then they're not ready for advertising. But if you have products that actually solve a specific problem and they're actually useful to the customer and they're not just a window shop items like t-shirts or mugs, then advertising is something that you really need to consider and have a great advertisement game plan. Again, make sure to check out my YouTube page to find some videos that will help you with that. Okay, number 3. Now, we all know that customers come to Etsy for a reason. And at each stage of the year, each section of the year, people come for different reasons. And knowing those reasons is going to be very important. Now, at the basic level, there are seasonal products like July 4th, there's Mother's Day, Father's Day, so on and so on. We need to know what those holidays are or national days. We need to map them out and make sure we're posting at least 2 months in advance on smaller holidays and about 4 to 5 months on the bigger holidays. Because essentially trends, they change all the time. And the holidays especially, they only have so much time to really nibble at the product before the holiday actually hits. So if you can post them earlier so the algorithm has some time to nibble at it, that would be very, very helpful. Also, trends change. So it's really important to have ongoing keyword researching as you're posting new listings. So understanding not only that there's ebbs and flows such as the holiday season or the low seasons, but you also need to understand each month has its own season and you need to make sure that your products are appropriate for the customer in that season. Now, it doesn't have to be a holiday design. It could be time for traveling, or when do people, maybe even look up when do people buy travel tickets more and maybe sell luggage tags, like I said in my previous videos. So understanding why customers come onto the platform at certain times of the year is going to allow you to really be useful to customers, and therefore it's going to drive up your conversion rate because they're coming in with a purpose, and you're going to have a higher traffic because there are more customers looking for that specific need. Now, the last 2 is they kind of go hand in hand. And I've seen this is almost black and white. Sellers that make higher quality listings, and they do a ton of them. Let me explain. It might sound simple, but let me explain. Sellers that use too much ChatGPT, too much Photoshop, they tend to not do so well. Now, I know ChatGPT makes things super easy, but if your description is 5 paragraphs long, that just gives it away that you have a ChatGPT that wrote the whole thing. use bullet points in your description. Bullet points are great both for Amazon Handmade, but they also work really well for Etsy. The other thing is make sure your photos are very natural and they maybe even have a video. Do everything you can to make the highest quality listing, and then create a system in which you can create many, many listings to come. Now, there are products that you can't really make too much, such as leather wallets. Maybe there's only a different color of leathers that you can do. But if you have the luxury to move into handbags or keychains, do that. But constantly adding new creative work onto Etsy has found to be the most important metrics for you to stay alive. Etsy shops that die off tend to have a period of not posting new listings, or at least not really engaging with the trends, engaging with the keywords, and constantly bringing up new products to the market. When Etsy is all about special and unique, well, that definition, special and unique, changes year to year, month to month. And so you adding more and more listings allows you to be as close to the people and their passions and their desires and their preferences as possible. And just the way the algorithm works, it does help out people that are very engaged in posting new listing, creating new artwork. Because think about it, Etsy is made for artisans that like to create and they can't stop creating. They want to create the next product and the next product. And so the algorithm is tailored to those types of people. You can't just post a few products and do a manufacturing style business, because that's not what Etsy is. Etsy is a creative platform, which means your creativity has to be the driver of your Etsy business. And creativity can't happen if you just posted 10 listings or 100 listings and left it at that. I've seen so many sellers just die off when they don't add new products and constantly have a system of adding new products. And I would recommend have like maybe 1 or 2 products a week, maybe 50 products a week, depending on the kind of product you're selling, but make sure you have a consistent schedule that will help you stay healthy on Etsy. Now, if you're constrained by manufacturing and you want to outsource and do a print-on-demand style model, check out the link in the description below where I show you how to onboard with WeEngrave that actually produces products that are not found on Printify or Printful. If you haven't signed up with them or you have not checked out my training video where I will introduce you to how to onboard with them. If you like this video, you're probably going to like this video as well. So check it out. And until next time, you guys have a great one.